Hi, this is Byron Cherry, Coy Duke from the Dukes of Hazzard, your favorite show. And thank you all for watching Food Folks Fun Network. Yeehaw!
Tonight on the Dukes, guess who? It's Coy.
I wouldn't trade life here for anything.
Welcome to the Motor City Mama Show. We have a very special guest today, Byron Cherry from the Dukes of Hazzard. Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. He's all you never saw, been in trouble with the law since the day they were born. That's it. I don't sing, but
I love
anyway.
it. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm having my coffee
Good morning.
in California, talking to you.
And I'm having my cappuccino in Michigan, my Dixie Girl cup. Just a good
And you
old
got
girl.
your Cooters. That's
Yep.
a Cooters cup.
Good old girl, never meaning no harm.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I got one, but it says good old boy with a big 01 like this.
It's got Daisy's Jeep on it.
And you are in Michigan,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
Okay.
Depot Town, Michigan. Ypsilanti is where our studio is.
Yeah, I'm in Ventura, California, just so you know. Ventura Beach. So we're right below, like, Santa Barbara's here. We're, like, right here. It's about a half hour up the road.
There. Beautiful out there.
Oprah Winfrey, people. I don't know. You know, all those big celebrities live up there.
You know. So how have you been? You recently had a birthday and celebrated on a cruise with your wife. So how was that?
Oh, that was my wife? Oh. Honey? No. Yeah, that was my wife.
You call her.
I call her the warden. The warden. Yeah, it was awesome. Caribbean cruise, turned 70 on the boat. And I actually took a guy that I own a General Lee with in South Carolina, Kirby. Hi, Kirby. Him and his wife went. They're just Duke fans. They own a General Lee. I'm part owners on a 69 Charger. Out in my driveway, I got a 2010, you've seen it, tribute car, another General Lee. So bright orange, very orangey.
Mm-hmm.
Cruise was good. We hit 3 islands, and it was about 7 days. And I got lost on the boat a couple times, you know. Every time you turn around, somebody gives you like a margarita or pina colada. And, yeah, so you can get in trouble on those cruises. You gotta be careful.
Yeah.
But it was fun. It's always entertainment. It was a Virgin Voyager, and I highly recommend it. The food was amazing, absolutely amazing. So other than that, yeah, I'm just back in California. Birthday was wonderful. I saw it a couple nights ago. I assume my birthday's over, right? It's just over, done. I'm worn out. So my wife goes, "Oh, we're having dinner." The warden, "We're having dinner with a couple." So I said, "That's it, right? A couple," because I'm just, you know, I want some little peace, you know, because it was a party on that boat. So I walk in, I open the door. There's 50 people in the house. It's happy birthday, and that was like 3 nights ago. So
the birthday continues.
Yeah, but you know, I got some nice, you know, other people giving me gifts. I'm like, I thought my birthday was over. It was fun though. I had a great time. So it is officially over today. As of today, it's over.
But then you come back and you have your General Lee that you just got. So that was another 70th birthday gift.
It is a birthday gift.
Yes.
I actually did a trade with a friend in Alabama. He has a real one. It wasn't on the show as a replica, but he has Raji. He has Raji. You'll go there one day. It's Raji's Hazard Hangout, and it's a 5,000 square foot building. It's starting to look like a Cooters, you know, big. So he had me. He flew me in for that, and get the weekend it was when all those tornadoes hit.
Oh wow!
We had tornadoes dancing around our neighborhood. I mean, we were in the basement like more than once, and I've never thunder and lightning would knock you out of it was unbelievable.
That's scary.
Out there. We got lucky, but anyway, so but one day he's bringing in Daisy Duke in June. Yeah, my friend Roger, but a great guy. So anyway, so I did a trade for a couple shows. He actually gave me this car, this General Lee.
It's awesome. I love it. You've got the horn in it.
That's on the way. He forgot to hook it up for me, so he's shipping it to me. It's got the brush guard. Well, actually, the brush guard's in the trunk. I got to put that on. So, so it's going to be fun.
Well, tell me about your days working on Dukes of Hazzard. What was it like to come on set of such an established show?
What was it like? Well, after a month of auditioning, literally my audition lasted a month. I was just, ready to go home. But as far as, but I ended up getting it. I can tell you that story. Oh, it was crazy. It's kind of hard to, it was a crazy transition because, you're hearing all the negative stuff like, oh, how are you going to fit their shoes, Bo and Luke and all that, how are you going to do it? And there's a lot going through my mind right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's mostly very positive, But as far as the cast, like Daisy Duke, I was coming up a dirt road in Valencia, California, and I look up there and I went, holy mackerel, who is that? That girl is hot.
Right.
And I was single. So, and they're like, I don't know, this little girl in these little jeans. I mean, and I was coming up a dirt road where we ended up filming. And this was my day one audition. And they brought us in a bus, and in the bus was about 100 Coy and Vance Duke actors from all over the country, all over the world. Some from Australia, some everywhere. Blonde hair, blue eyes. That I was up for Coy Duke, of course. And then they had the Tom Wopat lookalike, which Chris Meir ended up getting that Vance Duke, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but we're all on the same bus together, and you look around and you go, there's no way I'm getting this show. Everybody looks the same.
Right.
All the blonde haired guys. You wouldn't believe all the people who could have been my twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
Blonde hair, blue eyes. But anyway, so I just said, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it. So anyway, we get up there and they Daisy Duke. I was first to audition, and it was a three-page scene with Daisy Duke and Chris Meir, Vance Duke, who we didn't hear from him for a while because they told him he didn't get the part, but that's another story. So Daisy runs up to me and hugs me and gives me a kiss right about there. Where he is, right there. And I'm like, whoa. She goes, oh, Coy, you're going to get it, Coy. She's calling me Coy Duke already. And then all the other actors just kind of going, well, I guess I'm going home.
It's over. You're done.
So I did a scene with her, and there wasn't any other original cast members there, just Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
And the General Lee, and then a line of guys auditioning for Vance Duke, and then a line of people auditioning for Coy Duke.
Mm-hmm.
So they sent me, did my thing. They put you on a little bus, take you back to the hotel and drop you off. And then they did that for unbelievable. They sent everybody home but me. So I didn't get to meet the main cast until like almost a month later, because I was auditioning every day They knew they liked me. I didn't know that they liked me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'd go through Warner Brothers, and the security guard would go, hey, you're the new guy. You're Byron Coy Duke. They knew all about me. You got the part. I went, I don't know what you're talking about.
So that's how you found out.
They knew I got the part. And then the lady serving food in the green room, hey, you're the new Duke boy. Took John Snyder's spot. I went, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, it was crazy. So anyway, yeah, I got to finally meet the cast once they called me in and told me I got the role as Coy Duke.
Mm-hmm. So the show is family oriented, and it just seems like it would be a family. Now, I've met the part of the cast. What was it like? Was it like a family?
Yeah, not only was it family, it was one of the greatest family shows, and I think in history.
Mm-hmm.
I compare it with like Annie Griffith and some of the other ones. My favorite shows growing up, Bonanza, just family shows, or no cussing.
Right.
We talked about moonshine a little bit back in the early days of Dukes. They ran moonshine.
It's the South, we have to.
But yeah, the cast now. We still, to this day, I'm going to Cooters. I hope you can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Cooters, May 16th, 17th, and 18th, Luray, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Cooters. If you hadn't been to Cooters, you got to go there. You've been there. You got your cup.
I've got my mug from Cooters. Yeah.
But he's doing a Ben Jones, who played Cooter. He owns 3 stores. One in Nashville, which is so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
One in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, and then the one in Luray. But all the cast members will be there except for, I think, Bo Duke. I still call him Bo, my good friend John Snyder. And then Sonny Schroyer. Sonny's played Enos. He's like 88, 89 years old, so he's not getting out much, so he probably won't be there, but I'll be there with Daisy Duke, Luke Duke, Tom Wopat.
Yep.
Huey Hogg, remember him? Huey Hogg.
Yep. He was in Hazard Fest too.
Yeah. Cletus, Rick Hurst will be there, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be great. Ben's in a band. He'll come out and sing on weekends sometimes with his band, so he'll be there probably signing some autographs. Cooter. And it's a 2-day show, I think. Well, I'll be there signing at Cooter's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So y'all come on out there. It's probably going to be the biggest Duke show of the year. The fans are incredible. So, but yeah, as far as I got along so good with Roscoe, and I call him Roscoe Pico Trey.
I love it.
Great guy, Mr. James Beth, great actor. Sorrel Book, Boss Hogg, he was hilarious. No, he did not eat all that food. He did not have to eat all that food. He ate quite a bit, but one day I was sitting on the set. I never saw him without a suit on. I mean, I just never saw him without that suit on. He took his suit off because he was so hot. He just couldn't. He was just the lights on him, just burning up, sweating. And I went and looked at him. I went, "You're a little guy. You're just a little man." And he was shorter than me. Right. And but he was actually really good shape. He wasn't that suit came up from here and made him look like that double chin, pushed it out, and it was all foam. It was all padding.
Oh wow, I didn't know that. I just assumed.
Yeah, I know. So I always thought
so he was I heard that he knew 7 languages. And I didn't know that about Boss Hogg.
He did. And yeah, he'd be on the phone, seriously. Back then, none of these, no cell phones, But he'd be at the telephone booth, just gibberish, like talking in German, and then he'd be talking in Japanese. I'm not kidding. And then somebody said, Byron, the guy speaks 7, 8 languages, like fluent, French, whatever. And I'm going, wow. I mean, yeah. So during the course of, the filming, he'd be on the phone talking several different languages. Absolutely. Smart guy. He was very quiet with me. He loved to fish. Never got to go fishing with him, but yeah, really sweet man.
I heard he loved his crossword puzzles and he studied history and
very, very smart guy. Yeah. Very.
And then Roscoe Pico Train.
Roscoe's a great guy.
I heard that he was very serious. He wasn't like his character at all.
He was pretty funny guy. I still hang out and talk with Dorothy Best will be there at Cooter's. That's James Best's wife, and she'll be there actually signing and selling his art. He was a great artist.
I heard his watercolors are beautiful.
Oh yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have his original stuff, and I think she sold it all, but she kept some of his stuff. But I got some of his prints that are really, really awesome. So anyway, he was a great guy as well. But yeah, he was kind of quiet on the set, like Boss Hogg, but I could not sit in the same room and watch those two. They do a scene together, and I just want to study acting and just watch them because they ad-libbed a lot. They just ad-libbed. And Chris and I, Vance Duke, Chris Mayer, we'd try to sit in there, but they told us to go to the green room. You had to leave because we were laughing so hard. I mean, during filming, but we learned not to do that. So
right,
because they were just a riot.
It must have been amazing to be on that set. I mean, just watching it from home, I every time I heard Waylon Jennings start singing that song, I was ready for adventure. So just being there, it must have been awesome. Did you ever jump a General Lee? Did you ever drive?
Thank God, no. No.
It's probably dangerous because
they were not allowed because of insurance and
right.
Just Warner Brothers and. The biggest stunt we would do is jump in and out of that window. That hurt.
That was probably hard. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, they forgot that they didn't trim the little, there's a little, the lock on the door. They take they literally try to cut it off. But one of the General Lees, we went through over 300 General Lees.
Oh, yeah.
Like 317 to be exact. And
it's like
so they always had,
yeah.
they always had they're always bringing in other cars that they crashed the week before. They rebuild them, crash them, rebuild them, crash them. And so this one had a little piece of metal sticking up the lock. So I'm doing that famous jump in the window slide, rip my blue jeans.
Oh, no.
Just right down the middle. It was very painful. I had to get a big Band-Aid.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah. And I know Tom Wopat, Luke Duke, had an incident too. He got cut, you know. So there's some things happen, you know, but we weren't allowed to do, definitely did some of the driving, but got to, you know, do 360s and a lot of the stuff that looks fake, when you're watching the show, it is fake. It's called processing, and there'll be a screen behind me, like we're driving. We're literally sitting in the studio. I'm holding the steering wheel. That's why you don't drive like this. So It's just weird because the cars. You got two big muscle guys in front of the car, the General Lee, with 2x4s going boom, boom, making it look like we're bumping, you know, like we're riding down the road.
The screen behind you.
Yeah. And there's literally a screen behind you, like we're flying, you know, through the air. And they did a lot of the jumps too. And then, you know, you're cruising down the road. They have a fan right here blowing your hair, you know, like you're really, really driving, you know, like, yeah, it's called processing. But it was just so hilarious, you know. You really had to be an actor to not laugh when they say action,
right?
Because you got a guy here in your face. You got two big guys up there with 2x4s going, come on, go. You know?
You're trying to pretend to be serious driver.
Yeah. And toward the end, you know, they used toy General Lees, little one like 164, little small Matchbox. They used to do the jumps, and I don't really know what episodes, but I think it was the last when Bo and Luke came back. They started using those to save money,
right?
Because the jumps are so expensive, you know, to do a jump.
You know, if you go through 2 cars per episode, it adds up after time.
Yeah, they had 17. When the show was over, they found a friend of mine actually went back to Warner Brothers, worked a deal. A good friend of mine lives in Virginia named Wayne Wooten, but a great guy. But he worked a deal where he got all the last 17 original General Lees from Warner Brothers. And since then, I think he kept 2, keeps them in somewhere in Virginia. And he sold there's like one in Germany, there's one in Australia. They're all over 17. So there's 15 other originals out there somewhere. And I'd say most of them probably aren't running. They were in a field for like 20-something years after Dukes. They just sat in a field.
Wow.
They had rattlesnakes in them. They full infested with rats and mice. And yeah, of course the snakes eat the rats and mice. But they were in a field in Valencia, and my friend bought them all. Worked a deal. Really got them really cheap or something. And so anyway, that was a quick little story about the General Lees.
Yeah. So I do have a few viewer questions for you. Actually, I wanted to ask you, is it true that you started your career with a kiss? I heard a story. I heard a rumor. Is that true?
That I did what?
Your first audition, that you started your career with a kiss.
A kiss? Oh, yeah. Oh, her. Oh, that girl. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So Snyder and I had the same agent. I think it's called that. We had a couple different, but that was a talent shop. And anyway, so this is before Dukes, 4 or 5 years before Dukes. So I was she sent me on no, she didn't even send me on an audition. This is before I even had an agent. Now it's coming back to me. So I'm going to Georgia State. I already finished 4 years of college up at ETSU. I played football in college for 3 years, and then went back home to my hometown, Atlanta, Georgia, where I met John Snyder before Dukes. And we had the same agent. So we started out just modeling and doing TV commercials and stuff, Hardy hamburgers, Coca-Cola, McDonald's. I did a bunch of them. And so I'm going to Georgia. I enrolled in Georgia State Film School. So my dad's like, I didn't graduate. So my dad's like, you're going back to school. You got to graduate. And he was right, but I never did. But he was right. So I'm walking into my class, and this really pretty lady standing out there. I think her name was Linda, but she was the agent that represented the talent shop that I ended up signing with because I didn't have an agent at the time. So I'm literally just, I thought she was beautiful and I just wanted to meet her. And she goes, "Hey, you come here." Like, "You come here." Like, "Me?" So I ran to her.
Of course.
She had a diamond about that big on her feet. I went, "Oh, you're married." Of course, I was 20 something and she was way older than me. But anyway, so she goes, "Hey, how would you like to go to an audition?" I went, "Well, I'm going to there's an audition class that I was learning how to audition." I was getting ready to walk in my class and I went, "Really?" I said, "What do I do?" She goes, "Well, here's the address." She hands it to me. You're gonna walk in this room. It's for Six Flags over Georgia. There's it's called the Great Gatsby or something. There's a parachute that dropped out of the sky, and you're gonna have a girlfriend. So you're gonna walk in this room, sign in, and you go sit in there next to this blonde-haired girl. She's pretty, blue eyes, and you're gonna kiss her. I went, "What?" I'm like, "What?" I said, I gotta go kiss this pretty girl. I said, "Okay, I'm in. I'll do it." So she gave me the address, and literally I went over there, and the girl, forgot her name. It's been a long time, but the girl had been kissing guys for about 4 or 5 days. And hadn't found the right guy. Yeah, she was sitting there, and she was not nice. And she goes, "Hey, you." I said, "Oh, I have a name. It's Byron." She never told me her name, I don't think. So I got in. The producer goes, "Go sit over there next to her. Put your arm around her. Cuddle up. Okay, when I say action, start kissing." I went, wait. I was very uncomfortable. I didn't like it. I said, "I need to know her name."
Right.
So, I think it was Sarah, whatever. "Okay, oh, Sarah, okay, so put your arm around her. Okay, y'all smile, you're having a good time." We're supposed to be in a parachute ride that goes, whoo, and we're on a date, right? So she was a terrible kisser, terrible. So anyway.
You don't remember her name.
I know, I do. I don't want to know her name. So it's about 8 or 10 takes and then I just started laughing, and then she was mean. She wasn't nice. And so I got up and they said, "Okay, you're done. Next." Bring another guy in. I look back at her. She has this really pretty girl, but just like, "Oh, here we go again." And I said, "There's no way." When I left, I said, "There's no way I'm getting that gig." And I get home, Linda calls me on my home phone. My mom's at my mom's house. He goes, "Hey, you got the part. You start filming on Monday." That was like Friday. And I went, What? There's no way. So anyway, I ended up getting it. So it was the worst kiss of my lifetime. And now that kiss got me about, this 2-day shoot got me about $12,000.
Hey, that's a big break in Hollywood. Started with the kiss.
It was a pretty big commercial. It was a big, not national, but I didn't even know anything about residual checks. It's like, oh my God, it was a union. I had to sign. It got me in the union, SAG, one commercial. So, and that was just, it was a lot of luck. So Dukes came up later, that was way before Dukes. So anyway, that's my little kiss story.
I thought that was a cute story. I had to throw that one in. I do have a few viewer questions. Can you talk about the Hanna-Barbera classic and your work on that?
The cartoons? Oh yeah, I wish I had some pictures. Oh, I have pictures. I was just looking at them. I don't know where they are. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we'd film all day at Dukes. Some days were 12, some days were 14 hours. And then they said, "Oh, by the way, you're doing cartoons." I'm like, "Cartoons? What? Dukes of Hazzard cartoons Saturday morning? I've never been on a cartoon." So yeah, we'd go from filming all day straight over to Hanna-Barbera, and you put you in a little sound room, just exactly like if you're recording music, and it'd be in a little semicircle. It'd be like, I remember Boss Hogg on my left, and me, and then Daisy Duke, and the rest of the cast. And basically, just give you a script, and you just ad-lib it, look down and read it, and because they don't see you, they just want your voice, and you sit there and they can record your voice, and it's really easy because if you say a line that's just sounds fake or phony, and it's still acting. I mean, you're acting out your part. So We did get the scripts beforehand, so you could kind of rehearse your the timing and everything. So, but they were cute. You know, we're racing Boss Hog around the world. Matter of fact, we stop in Australia and I get in a fight with a kangaroo in one of the episodes. I got to fight a Australian kangaroo, and I think it knocks me back. Kangaroos are mean.
Well, yes, they're good boxers. I heard.
Yeah, they'll kick you and they can hurt you.
Right.
But it was cute. When I do these shows, when I see, I'll bring you a signed cartoon or a picture when I see this summer. But I always have 2 or 3 different shots from, the cartoon. So very cute.
Yeah. So do you do a lot of the circuit? I know that there's a lot of meet and greets. Do you do a lot of those?
I did a bunch last year. I'm out probably 2 or 3 weekends every month, starting in the spring through the fall. But this year it's kind of quieted down, I'm only out probably 2 times a month, which is funny for me now because, I'm so old,
You're still young at heart. You're good.
No, so I do, if I do one, I do a lot of benefits, cancer. I do a lot of car shows, so anybody out there, you can leave them a link how they can get in touch with me, thecoyduke@gmail.com. They can, email me, then I can get them a package, I love doing car shows. I just like getting out and meeting the fans.
Right.
I have a lot of fun doing that. I know all the moonshine guys,
Yeah. And I hope to see you at the Hillbilly Jam because I'm going to be there this summer. It's going to be fun.
My plan on doing that, I'm going to work it out with Becky. I just talked to her this morning, and I got to talk to her. And she said, Byron, she goes, Byron, we sold $35,000 of beer last year, the vendors. I went, God, that's a lot of people. She goes, yes. That's a lot of people.
It'll be my first year, but I saw videos from last year. It's huge. I'm so excited. I miss Hazzard Fest, though. That's it was a great.
I can't believe they're not doing that. They're doing some horror thing now, or ghost hunting and stuff like that. Yeah, I would like to get. I have a friend named Jimmy that he does these paranormal ghost hunting things, and he wants to bring me on the show. But he took me in a jail cell a while back in his hometown. It's an old 1700s. It's open all day. You can go in there. Oh my gosh! Broad daylight. I ran out of this jail. It was so haunted. I mean, really haunted.
You can pay me to do that. No, thank you.
I get chills. I get chills thinking about the feeling I had. Yeah. I think they ran me out, the ghost. But I've had experience in my lifetime. I won't go over them now, but so I totally believe in ghosts and spirits, and I've seen them. So I don't care how crazy people think you are, but I've experienced stuff like that. So I'm like, whoa.
I want to go to a couple of those shows. I know it's like it's not called Fright Fest, but it's something similar to that name, somewhere in the South. And then there's a few here in Michigan too, but I'm going to start going to those. But Hazzard Fest was my go-to for years, and then they just stopped doing it.
He'd bring in everybody. Turtle Man, remember? Mountain Man, all those famous wrestlers.
The cast of Good Times. Music. Hanging out with Heidi, Debbie Dunning from Home Improvement. That was fun. I hung out the after party and saw you there.
They were cool.
Dog the Bounty Hunter's son was there playing pool. I mean, it was very fun night. And I still owe you a dance.
Yeah, Becky from just doing this, her and one other girl do the Hillbilly Jam that you're talking about. That's what it's called, right? Yeah. Hillbilly Jam. She said there's just music nonstop. Yeah. She said, Byron, you will love it. You're gonna have the best time. So I'm gonna work it out. I'm gonna make it where I can get there. So, and it's last weekend in July, I think.
Yep.
Does that sound right?
Yep.
27th or something. So 2 days. Yep. That's a 2-day show.
Yep.
But anyway, so you want me to tell us a quick story about how Bo Duke wasn't up for Bo Duke?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
That story? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I told you a little bit about it. I'll make it quick.
You guys auditioned for a lot of roles, a lot of the same roles, too.
Yeah, so So John and I, we had the same agent, right? The same agent that we call the talent shop. And then also Sonny Schroyer had the same agent, and Ben Jones. So, and we all ended up on the same show. But so I get a call. Hey, Byron, you want to read for this show, called Dukes of Hazzard? And I'm like, oh, yeah, another show. Yeah, because there wasn't much going on in Atlanta back then. Now it's insane. I should actually be living there. But, and I only had TV commercial experience and modeling, modeling, runway. I was doing runway modeling. So I get this call. I said, so when are they coming? Next Wednesday. I went, oh my God, I fly to Miami, Florida next Wednesday I was a flight attendant for Eastern Airlines. You're too young to remember them, but Eastern Airlines. But anyway, Frank Borman. So I end up, Warner Brothers flies in, I fly out, and I wave to him in the airplane, and to audition. And so you know how an agent will send out, you know how it kind of works, they'll send out 8x10s, glossies, like, here's one of my old pictures right here. It's right there, look.
Yep.
So they would send that picture to a casting, and then casting would go, I don't know, okay, no, John Snyder, no, put him. John went in the no pile. No, don't want to see him. He was 18 years old, and I think they might have known it. I don't know, but then the Byron picture came in, me, and they went, oh, I want to see that guy. So anyway, I was five of five guys, and that they Warner Brothers wanted to see for the role of Bo Duke from soon to be Dukes of Hazzard, and they were going right into production in Covington, Georgia. So Snyder's like, got the call from the agent from Linda going, no, sorry, you're not right. They don't want to see you. And he just flipped out. Then I saw him we went to an audition right before the big audition for Dukes of Hazzard. And he goes, I'm going to get this. You always get the part, which I got more parts than he did usually, like commercials.
You're of age. So,
yeah.
I mean, it was appropriate.
I was 23. They wanted a guy in their 20s.
Right.
They actually wanted somebody 23, 24 that looked that age. And Snyder looked really young. Yeah, Snyder's a big guy, 6'5" or something. So Snyder's all upset because he knew I was up for it. But then he also knew that, hey, you're not going to be in town. I'm going to show you. So I fly to Miami, Florida for 7 weeks, and then Linda, the agent for John and I, and it goes, don't worry, Byron, they love you. They want to see you, period. And if they have to, they will fly to Miami, Florida. And I went, well, make sure they do, because it sounds like I read a little bit of the script. I said, it sounds like a fun show. And so I didn't know anything about the General Lee, none of that. But it's mostly about Daisy Duke. So one day goes by, no phone call. I'm in Miami now, right? Training to be a flight attendant for Eastern. And then 2 days go by. Finally, 3 days ago, I call Linda. Linda, what's going on? They're not here. What? You hadn't heard a word. She goes, oh, you know your friend John. I'm like, John who? John Snyder, your buddy. I went, well, what about him? He's in Hollywood. I'm like, well, what's he doing in Hollywood? Why is he there? Oh, he's reading for Dukes of Hazzard. He's up for the screen test. I'm like, yeah, right. I think I hung up on her. I said, you're so full of it. And then she called me back. I did hang up on her. She called me back, and I had to go. They called me in to do something. So I talked to her a little later that day, and she goes, no, Byron, he's really out there for a screen test. And I went, what? And so he did. So Snyder got wind of the audition times and got a 6-pack of beer, walks in the audition, walks right through the receptionist where you have to sign in before you walk in to the room with Warner Brothers casting, and I think there's 3-4 people in there from Warner Brothers that flew in. So he walks in, opens a beer, whoosh. That was a good sound effect. When slams a beer, 18 years old now, gets the other 5 beers. You guys help yourself. Throws them out there, and he goes, how y'all doing? I'm Bo Duke.
So he got the part. I mean, he came in as Bo. He nailed it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he didn't shave for a week, and had old ripped up T-shirt, big old boots, big old belt buckle about that big, and just sat down and opened a beer, and and they blew him away. So the next day he was on a airplane to Hollywood for a screen test, and that's how he
earned that part.
That's how he got it. And next thing you know, he's doing a screen test with Luke Duke because they had already cast him.
Mm-hmm.
So, but and then so they did 4 seasons, and then they walked off the set, as you know, for the suing for merchandise. So they just quit the show, just walked off because they wanted more money, and they're trying to work out the merchandise situation, which I get, because they ended up putting my little face on a lunchbox, in pajamas and under whatever. They had over 3,000 different toys that they put us on,
right.
The cats,
wow.
And it was kind of weird. I've never been on a lunchbox.
That's
so
kind of cool.
I collect Coy and Vance Duke lunchboxes.
I
So
would
if you ever
too.
see one,
If I had something with my face on it, I would collect them all. I'd buy them all up.
yeah, I've got like 10.
Cool.
I've got like 10. My wife only let me, the warden, display one in the house, so only one.
Just the one.
But it's cute. It's cute. It's just some great, you're looking at 40-something years ago. So it's just some great memories and great times. And, there's only a few of us left,
Right. I mean, it's a show that it's always going to pull at the heartstrings to a lot of people. I mean, I'm still, every time I heard that song, I'm ready to sit down and watch some adventure.
Oh, yeah.
And some shenanigans and tomfoolery.
Yeah. Another quick story. I'll make it quick. Do you have any more time?
Mm-hmm.
You have a little more time? So remember I said I read with Christopher Mayer, Vance Duke, on day one, and they sent him home, told his agent, no, you got that Jersey accent. He had some, he had a lot more experience than I had. He'd done Stunts Unlimited and some couple movies. So, and he was actually a really good actor, very talented, very smart. He died in 2011, died of natural causes, but he a great guy. I really miss him.
Great actor.
What's that?
Great actor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we exchanged phone numbers on the day of the audition, and then so we started hanging out. He worked out a lot. He did some martial arts, and he liked to train like I did, and so we just hooked up to start. Invited him in his little beach house with his fiance, and so we started training together and just working out and stuff during my audition process, which was another 3 weeks. And it got annoying, so annoying.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to go back home. I miss my mom in Atlanta, Georgia. So, but Chris kind of entertained me. We had fun, and so Warner Brothers calls me in. They put me up in a little hotel right down the street from Warner Brothers, and the Star Lounge or something like that. Star Lounge, dumpy, but I was having fun because all I was doing is reading with Vance Duke guys. Vance Duke, the dark-headed guy with blue eyes, for 3 weeks, solid every day, all day, just audition. I was worn out. And so finally, Warner Brothers calls me in, and I go in and go, so Byron, who you read with hundreds of people, who do you want to work with? I'm talking all of CBS and Warner Brothers. It had anything to do with Dukes of Hazzard, the show. And I went, wait a minute, you're asking me who I want to work with? Mm-hmm. I said, well, the only guy that I get along with that I like is my friend. And they went, oh, who's your friend? I said, Chris Mayer, Christopher Mayer. Mm-hmm. They go, well, you like him? You're friends? I went, yeah, he's a great guy. We hang out and work out, go to the beach. And they went, oh, what? You know what? We got to go. We'll call you later. See you later. Mm-hmm. They know that I drove down the studio, and so I get home about 8 o'clock. They call me again, and they go, Byron, I need you here at 8 o'clock in the morning. I said, what do you? And I'm ready to go home. I'm really frustrated. I didn't know I had the job. I didn't know anything, and so I go down there and I open the door. They're all sitting at that same big table, about 18 people. Some of them smoking cigars, sunglasses, none of them smiling. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, there's probably 12, 16 bottles of champagne on the table. And I wasn't much of a drinker back then. I just didn't drink much, and I would. But so I'm like, it's 8 in the morning. I go, God, you guys drink early. I'm looking
at Hollywood,
There's a bunch of alcoholics. And I talked to them like that because I didn't really care. I'm like, I'm ready to go home. I've been here a month, and I really do miss my family. Mm-hmm. And so they go, they planned this. So you remember the day before I went down there and they said, who do you want to work with? So now in the meantime, they called Chris Mayer's agent and said, Chris you're hired. We want to hire him. And so they hired him. That's how they hired him. So I'm in there sitting around going, what is going on? And looking at all that champagne bottles. And they went, well, so Chris was in the closet. Chris Mayer was in the closet, and I didn't know he was in there. So next thing you know, this guy he's a big guy, gets me in the head like I'm going, what are you trying to beat this guy off of me? And my karate moves weren't quite working. And I stand up and go, Chris, what the heck are you doing here? He goes, Coy, we start production, Vance. He goes, Coy, Vance, we start production on Monday morning. That was Friday. And I went, what are you talking about? I just totally flipped out of it. I didn't even remember saying, my great friend's Chris Mayer the day before. And they called him. He was already there.
They're there to celebrate.
Yeah, that's how I said. I never told him until we went to get our first check. And this hurt. His check was twice as big as mine.
Oh, no.
I said, do you know how you got this part? Do you know? And he goes, no, yeah, well, I auditioned. I went, I got you this part. I said, all I had to do is say, you're my best friend, and they hired you. And I don't know if he ever believed me, but anyway, I looked at his check, and mine went, holy mackerel, your check's twice as big as mine. But only because he had a legitimate manager and agent. So they knew how to negotiate. And I'm out there by myself. I'm just going, I'll take what I can get,
Right.
I'm happy.
And you were just being a good friend.
Yeah. But anyway, we stayed friends until the day he died. He's a great guy, great memories with him. I got pictures, of him all over. Most of the pictures I offer to the fans, sell at the shows, have him in it. Most of them do. I'd say 50% of them. So he was big old. I mean, that guy was in shape. Yeah. He's unbelievable, smart, very smart guy. But I miss him. So yeah, it was all. I mean, I look back at it, and it's just makes me smile.
Yeah. I think it makes everyone smile. The fans, the cast, everyone that was involved. And it's got a special place in my heart. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, people meet me and they go, well, you don't act like, you act like a kid. Like I said, well, I'm a Southern boy. This is the way I am. He goes, well, you don't act like you're some Hollywood guy. I said, well, I'm not. I'm from Georgia. And they expect me to be something else. Some people, not everybody, but some people. And I go, no, I'm not one of these stuck up Hollywood people, no, I'm just me, little old me. And I love getting out and hanging out with the fans. Yeah.
We have a little apple pie moonshine.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows I do with these moonshiners, they bring me moonshine and go, hey, you want to sample this, sample that, and it's usually apple pie is my favorite.
I'm gonna have to try it out at Hillbilly Jam, definitely.
Oh, you will, yeah. Yeah, I'll probably be there, so I'll let you know before then. I'll know before then. So
yeah, well, I still owe you a dance from the Hazzard Fest after party we never got. So
that's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining the show today. I had a blast. So
I hope we didn't go. Did we go into overtime?
Oh, we're fine. So tell everyone.
Yeah, y'all can edit and stuff, right?
Oh, yeah, we're good.
Edit me out. You don't even need me in this
shush.
thing.
I don't want to hear that.
Especially if you have a film or something you would like me in. I do I do shows all year round, so you can contact me, the Coy Duke, my character name, at gmail.com.
Okay.
And you have it, so you can, if you can, just put it on there. So how to get in touch with Byron Cherry and you can that is my email, and then they can we'll just go back and forth. Like I'm talking to Becky about the Hillbilly Jam on my email. Just, here's what it takes to get me there. Stuff like that, little stuff.
Yeah.
Got to work out the details. And as far as films, I don't even have an agent now. So I would just, it's either, I usually go through SAG, but I don't have to. A lot of the last films I've done is, I just did a film called Redemption, Salvage Yard Shine Boys. And I play Bubba. I play a deputy, kind of like a Barney Fife, a funny guy, funny, goofy guy. But it's a faith-based movie. It's really good. And It'll be out. It's on somewhere out there on social media right now. It's just it went straight to DVD. It's not like a big theatrical movie, but for the screen, the movie, you can't go to the movie theater and see it, but
Right.
you can get it on DVD and stuff. So, but it's a cute movie. A lot about. And it's about running moonshine. The family is all messed up on moonshine, and some good music in it too. Really good
I'll have to
music.
check it out.
Salvage Yard Shine Boys. So that's how you get in touch with me. Just email me and I'll get back to you. If you want a photo or something, signed photo, same thing. thecoyduke@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
Enjoy it. I will see you this summer somewhere.
Yes, end of July. I'm ready. Let's party.
And one other thing. Yeah. Just a good old boy.
Thank you.
Hey, I'll take you for a ride, my Junalee, next time.
I'm ready. Let's go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
See ya.
Thank you so much, Byron Cherry, for joining us on the Motor City Mama Show. And stay tuned for more guests coming up.